Welcome back to Voice of the Coast. Chris Hunter filling in for Danica for the rest of the show. Miss Louisiana pageant coming up on June 18th, 8 p.m. You'll be able to see it right here on KWBJ, and we're glad to have here the outgoing Miss Louisiana, Miss Julia Claire Williams. Welcome to Morgan City.
Yes, thank you so much for having me here.
Not your first time here, though.
It's not. No, I actually visited the Shrimp and Petroleum Festival a couple of years ago whenever I was Queen of Queens for the fairs and festivals in our state. So definitely excited to be back here this morning.
How was it?
It was incredible. Such a great experience. The people here are so hospitable, and it's just beautiful. It's God's country down here, and I certainly could see myself coming back once we get the Shrimp and Petroleum Festival. Yeah, no, but once the festival gets fired back up, hopefully I'll be able to come visit again.
Yeah, okay. All right, 30 seconds or less. Sum up your last year.
Goodness gracious.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, 30 seconds that's a pretty quick sound bite. I don't know. In summary, it's been an extremely fulfilling year. I have met so many people. I mean, the people of Louisiana are the very essence of what makes Louisiana, to me, the best place on the planet to be. I have been able to network and make so many connections that I think will, further my ability to develop a professional career as I transition into the next phase of life after the crown. And I've loved visiting schools across the state, pediatric health clinics, Children's Miracle Network hospitals, and sharing my message about finding your F.R.E.D.Y and fostering those rewarding engagements with disabled and disadvantaged youth. We're
going to give you plenty of time to talk about F.R.E.D.Y.
Perfect.
in the next segment. But for now, let's talk about the pageant last year. Going through that, can you kind of sum up what you were thinking through that whole night? Because I'm sure everybody goes in thinking, I'm going to win this. But sooner or later, it's got to hit you for real. I got a real chance to win this.
Right. Well, to be completely honest, I never really have any preconceived notions of how I'm going to do in any given competition. What I do know is that if I set my mind on something, I do give 110% effort to prepare for it so that I can put my best foot forward. But I definitely didn't think I was going to win, especially being that it was my first year to compete as a Miss. I was Miss Louisiana's Outstanding Teen back in 2015, and that was an incredible experience. And I think that a lot of the experience I gained through that year of service has definitely served me well as Miss Louisiana now. But it was completely unexpected for me. I knew that I had worked hard and that I had done everything I needed to do to prepare to show up as the best version of Julia as I possibly could when applying for this job. But it definitely came as a shock to me whenever I won. I did win the Preliminary Talent Award on Friday night of prelims, which was extremely exciting. I've danced my whole life, and so to be named as a talent winner on the Miss Louisiana stage was a pretty big deal to me, to say the least. So definitely no expectation of winning, but I'm certainly so thankful that, as God's timing would have it, my first year to do it, I did.
And certainly a lot of time over the past year representing the title. What do you think, or what stood out most what do you think you'll remember from the last year mostly?
Mostly, probably two things. I would say the engagements and those, I call them God wink moments that I had with kids when I would visit schools, or like I said, the pediatric day health centers for kids who need a little bit of extra care whenever their parents are at work. But really just the excitement in their voices and the expression in their smiles. And that might sound cheesy and not like a really big or memorable deal to some people, but kids really are my heart. And to go into schools and share my message with these children, and then to have some of them approach me afterwards and talk to me about how, they were so thankful to know that I share some of the struggles that they do, even though I am Miss Louisiana and hold this type of a role that's in the public eye all the time, or that they would tell me that, I had inspired them to find their F.R.E.D.Y, or to tell me about actions they've already taken to do so. And with a job like this, sometimes it gets a little lonely, and so whenever you do experience those moments, it really makes it all worthwhile. And to know that your message is resonating with the youth, which is the next generation and our future, in my opinion, it really means a lot to me.
Okay. I wanted to talk about that a little bit more, the educational part of it, but we need to take a break, so let's pause for a moment. We'll be right back with more Voice of the Coast. Welcome back to Voice of the Coast. Miss Louisiana pageant coming up here on TV 22, June 18th, 8 p.m. You'll see it here live. And right now we have the outgoing Miss Louisiana for 2021, Miss Julia Claire Williams. We were talking about some of the more memorable things that have happened to you over the last year. And so many queens that I've talked to love to talk about Mardi Gras in D.C., but you got an experience none of them have ever had before.
I did. Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser invited me to be an ambassador on the Louisiana Feed Your Soul float in Pasadena, California for the annual Rose Bowl parade. And not only did I get to ride on the float, but I got to help decorate the float.
Oh.
Yes, it was so much fun. And my mom also does floral stuff on the side, so that was kind of like a bucket list item for her and I both. So we really enjoyed our trip.
And the whole exterior is entirely covered with roses.
Yeah, so roses, everything has to be living or organic. So, you know, even if we had the little iron posts for the tiers on the float, and we covered them in seaweed. So yeah, there's a lot of detail and planning that goes into that.
Gotta have that Louisiana touch.
Oh yes.
Now, we talk about trying to balance the time, but for you, as far as college goes, you're finishing up undergrad or finished up undergrad,
Yes.
getting ready to go to med school
Yes.
to be a pediatrician,
Yes.
and it worked out for you well this year.
It did. God's timing is certainly always perfect, and I actually ended up winning Miss Louisiana during my gap year before applying to medical school. So this year I've taken the MCAT, won Miss Louisiana, competed at Miss America, got accepted to medical school, and I'll start med school July 11th. So only a few weeks after I pass along the crown. But you know, this job has really served as such a launching pad to the future that I've dreamt of for a long time, which would be becoming a pediatrician and helping children like Freddie that I meet through my practice by opening a community summer camp for them.
All right. Well, good luck with that. And you keep mentioning Freddie.
Yes,
and,
yes, it's my heart.
Those people probably don't know.
No.
I want to say who is Freddie, but it's not a who, it's a what.
Yeah, well, literally it is a who, yes, but also figuratively in a lot of ways he stands for a lot. But to fill people in a little bit, Freddie was a classmate of mine all through elementary school, and in second grade he fell victim to bullies in our class. They offered to help him tie his skate laces together. Well, tie his skate laces, I just gave away the point of the story, but they tied the laces of his skates together, and he fell. And Freddie was a child with special needs who also came from a socioeconomically disadvantaged background. And so in that moment, my mom always taught me to be very conscious and considerate of where people come from, and maybe their circumstances at home might be a little bit different from mine. And so it kind of sparked something in my heart, and I knew that his family would have a hard time affording the medical care that he would need to take care of that right arm. And so I didn't know it at the time that he would become the heart and inspiration of my social impact initiative for Miss Louisiana and Miss America, but he most certainly sparked my desire to practice medicine. And so all that being said, I have created my social impact initiative, which is Find Your F.R.E.D.Y, and transformed his name into an acronym that stands for Fostering Rewarding Engagements with Disabled and Disadvantaged Youth. So this year I've worked to be an instrument of change for kids like Freddie by inspiring people in the community to really get out and give of their hands-on time, love, and support to kids like Freddie, because they really need that support system to lean on.
What has being Miss Louisiana for the last year allowed you to do specifically to further that platform?
Miss Louisiana has given me many opportunities to further my platform. Just having this job in general has amplified my voice and the outreach that I'm able to have in advocating for kids like Freddie, and specifically visiting facilities like Children's Miracle Network hospitals and walking in and, you know, trying to be a ray of sunshine for these kids and their families. I know it has to be really hard. And, you know, see them in hospitals, provide care to children, no matter the cost that it is. They provide the adequate health care that they need. So visiting those facilities and schools, again, encouraging those kids to be kind to their classmates with special needs who might need a little bit of extra help to accomplish everyday tasks.
All right, real quick, just a couple of weeks left to wear that crown and that sash. What do you think is going to be going through your mind on June 18th as you give it all up?
Oh, goodness. I'm going to be a ball of emotions, a mumbo jumbo of emotions. I'm going to be really excited and eager for another young woman to experience what I have this year as Miss Louisiana. And I'm also going to be sad, but excited to transition into the next chapter of life.
All right. Well, thank you for coming in and joining us, and good luck at middle school and with everything else.
Thank you so much.
All right, and thank you for joining us. We'll see you again next time on Voice of the Coast.